Yeah, I think like AI in government has an opportunity to have a massive impact in terms of how overworked government workers are, but also how underserved a lot of communities are
Yeah.
by government. And I think that underserving has kind of created a lot of distrust as well of government. Um, it's also kind of new terrain, like bringing AI into everything now, right? Um, Bringing in agentic workflows into like new industries, and the government is one where there's obviously so much rich data as well that you can capture that can also lead to more product development and more impact. How do you approach conversations about AI with those stakeholders? Are you often met with a lot of obstacles or pushback? Is it about like creating these magic moments where they suddenly see, wow, this is going to completely change my day to day?
Yeah.
But how do you approach it, even for, yeah, I guess from a sort of sales process or from an education process of, especially of an audience that isn't necessarily the most tech savvy as well?
The magic moments are important, but it's on us to build trust and build trust by showing that we've approached their processes and their organizations with curiosity and a belief that the work that they do is important.
Mm-hmm.
So just yesterday, I was meeting with a 1 million-person population county, and the director told me that she sees what we do as the biggest advancement in classification and compensation, this benchmarking work that we do, the biggest advancement in the last 100 years or since it was created. I've had people in meetings, onboardings, come to me genuinely tears in their eyes with the ways that they've been in the past shouted at for doing mind-numbing work that then pisses somebody off, or
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but but pisses somebody off because they're just getting told to say no all the time. And instead they have an opportunity to go into these conversations with data and understanding. And that is truly empowering. That empowers people who don't get that empowerment enough. But the trust aspect, the only way that we can get there is if we're able to show that we've approached every single decision with the thoughtfulness that it deserves. So with a single class specification, we provide similarity explanations that would be A+ work for an analyst on a class and comp team.
Mm-hmm.
We provide sources and specific annotations that bring us directly to the document so that they can trust and verify. And then when we're onboarding with our customers, most of what we're doing is listening and watching them interact with the platform, and just a little bit of it is us telling them what to do. So
Yeah.
it has to come from a position of respect to the customer.
And I guess that probably has a downstream effect in terms of the culture you're building, right? I think everybody in the organization needs to like feel the mission of what you're building, but also like have this desire to want to build trust, even from like engineering decisions that are made, right? You don't want someone that's coming in and taking shortcuts, especially in something that's so high stakes as government hiring. How do you describe Holly's culture to, potential new hires? And yeah, talk to me a bit more about like the culture that you're building there.
Yeah, for sure. Specifically, well, across the whole company, I think there's a couple of things that we want to make sure that everyone feels very empowered by, and one of them, of course, is the mission. And part of how we express that mission is we think about like building with, not for. So building very carefully with our users. I think that's having been in sort of the civic tech like government space, a lot of government users or a lot of people who have been marginalized by technology don't really feel like it's being built, with them, that somebody else is just kind of making decisions and not really caring about how they experience technology. And so we make it a huge priority to talk to our customers and get their insights, and also make sure that on the engineering team, like all of the engineers have an opportunity. So our engineer has had opportunity to, go and meet with clients and join on sites and join customer calls and really get an experience for, okay, these are the issues and understanding of how things are happening.
Mhm.
And then another part of it is really that level of responsiveness to the customer that
Yeah.
they're not
Mhm.
super used to. So, I think with some companies that they've worked with, vendors, it might be, oh, here's a bug, and then, come back after a week and fix it. And so what we really want to create is a culture where, hey, like if a customer flags something and there's a bug, we let them know, hey, we're on it, and get back to them pretty quickly. So it's kind of a private sector standard of responsiveness that we're bringing in. And as part of that, I think we, to fulfill that to our customer, think a lot about making sure everyone on the team has agency and feels that responsibility to be responsive and work at that pace to ensure that the customer feels like heard at all times.